cannot use Spotify while you're on share play, remote play, or broadcasting gameplay. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. Oh, that's stupid.
Learn about crypto and get paid as you learn with Coinbase Earn. We've paid out over $100 million in crypto rewards since Coinbase Earn launched in 2018. To start earning, just watch short videos, answer simple
video, let's say that. All right, so we're gonna get into the video, man. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, man. Join the fam, the mafia fam, all that type of stuff like that. And once you do, moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now run the likes up, baby. Make sure y'all hit that like button and leave a comment, man. Let's get to it.
Having a bird's eye view is a wonderful thing. Having wings would allow us to see and experience so much more with such detail. And since we can't fly, super smart humans designed these. An unmanned aerial vehicle, or uncrewed aerial vehicle, commonly known as a drone, is an aircraft without any human pilot.
That's dope.
But when you see footage like this, you can't help but feel like you're flying the plane. Drones help us move through tight places, examine dangerous, hard-to-reach terrain, and can even save us from uncertain doom. Strap a camera on. You might just see a Bigfoot or a ghost child with black eyes staring out into the world. And that's why we love them. Here's drone captures what no one was supposed to see. Number 15. Mexican desert plantation. It might look a little random, and if you're flying over it, you might ask yourself, wait, what's that? Some people might say it's concealing a secret. And it is. Soldiers discovered a marijuana plantation hidden under black cloth in the middle of the Baja California.
Maui, wowie. I gotta go back and watch Half Baked, bro. But bro, imagine stumbling upon that. What's that? That's like, what was that? Was that Ozark? What movie? What was that? What was I watching when somebody stumbled upon like a field full of nothing but weed, bro? Oh my God, fam. You better run. As soon as you get a whiff of it, literally, you better run. You know they probably got security, guns, cameras, everything.
Desert, the largest in Mexico's history. The 300-acre plantation is 4 times larger than the previous record discovery by authorities. This big black cloth is commonly used to protect farmers' crops from too much sun. However, this particular grow-up was not supposed to be there. It was only when soldiers on the ground reached it that they found thousands of cannabis plants with approximately 60 people working. The plantation had a sophisticated system of piped-in irrigation to support the plants, and on top of that, tunnels ran about 2,000 feet from Mexico to San Diego and were equipped with lighting, ventilation, and a rail system. That's a lot of work. It's also very dangerous. If you do the math, drug traffickers could have potentially harvested about 120 tons of the green stuff from the plantation, worth about $160 million. This desert plantation will, however, be destroyed. You want to know a little secret? If you smack...
I don't believe that for 1 second that they're going to destroy it, bro. That's getting circulated back out into the, let's just say, the economy. You want something that's going to stimulate the economy? That right there is going to do it.
Hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell. You'll have superpowers for the rest of your life. So what are you waiting for? Time to fly. Number 14, After the Forest Fire. This isn't a Hollywood film set recreation of life after the zombies take over. Sadly, this is very real. Like an apocalypse almost, this drone footage offers a glimpse of the devastation caused by one of Portugal's deadliest forest fires, and the burnt-out cars spread over a main road. This blaze killed dozens of people, injured many, and we can all imagine how terrifying that fire was. Black smoke, sparks flying, flames billowing. It swept through the center of the nation, killing at least 62 people and injuring 59 others. The fire began in a mountainous area and
Man, moment of silence for today, man. This just made me think about, I hate to cut the video right there, but it was on my mind, man, just thinking about when I got a call today that one of the guys I was in the fire service with died today, man, of COVID, bro. Hurt my heart, man. One of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Give you the shirt off his back, always a smile on his face, man. Rest in peace to my bro. It's scary, man. But just seeing this, thinking about wildfires, and then thinking about the forestry and the fire departments that work on that, it just made me think of him, man. Just got that call this morning. One of the worst things to have to receive a phone call about. You know what I mean? So tough, man. Rest in peace, bro.
quickly spread to 3 other municipalities, exacerbated by high temperatures soaring to as much as 104 degrees. Portugal's prime minister said the emergency first responders did the best they could, but because the blaze had ruined phone lines and communication towers, as you can see, some folks just didn't make it out safely. Many were left without firefighters for hours as the blaze burned around them. This drone footage shows the scale of the devastation. The cause of the fire is unknown, but many blamed poor forestry planning and declining populations that left many wooded areas unattended. But whatever the reason for the disaster, the country's prime minister called it the biggest tragedy of human life that we have known in years. Number 13. Drone captures sinking ship. Surrounded by well over 200 boats, this 180-foot freighter slipped under the waves, coming to rest 100 feet below. Built in 1965, the boat had been previously seized in Miami by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection during a drug bust in 2018. However,
I want to know, I like to know, like, the times. How long? Does anybody else think like that? How long did it take to sink? Because ultimately, you know, if you like the cruise like I do, you want to know how much time you got in the event of something going wrong like that, something catastrophic.
Freighter was given a new life after being sunk to form an artificial reef in these waters off of Florida. You may be wondering what's the point in an artificial reef. Well, Florida has one of the best diving destinations on Earth. It's part of a widespread effort to promote reefing projects, keeping in mind the tourism opportunities they bring in addition to the wildlife habitat promoted. The diving and ecotourism industry thrives on the crystal clear waters of the region. The dramatic sinking is well in line with Florida's love for intentionally sunk warships and merchant vessels. We could watch the intentional sinking of ships all day. They load the boats up with some major weights and gravity just does the rest. Her stability was reduced by the adjacent ships pumping in water into her hull. Aided by a few holes in the boat made specifically to speed things up, the ship can be seen tilting in the port side and shortly after, sinking deep into Florida's crystal clear waters. Number 12. Drone flies into tornado?
Now that's dope. If you could get I gotta see this footage, bro. A drone straight, I don't care if you wreck it, damage it, destroy it. I just want to see leading up to the tornado, that footage.
It's very...
If you've never cashed a $42,166 paycheck, then I've got good news. My name is Lee Arnold, and last week I gave away 89 Fund Me packages, and at my next virtual event, I plan to give away 150. You see, I manage a private equity fund called Togo Capital, and we want your help putting our money to work in a few specific areas throughout the country. Now, if you're seeing this video, it means that you live within a 50-mile radius of a market that we have identified to be primed for the types of deals that we want to do right now. And we want to do these deals with you. Now, my fund is providing...
Before Dorothy flies away in her family farmhouse with no witches, though, just a very good drone. This is the up-close and personal moment a storm chaser flies his drone into the eye of a tornado, one of nature's most fascinating wonders. A team of extreme weather fans captured the windstorm as it tore across a ranch in Sulphur, Oklahoma. Tornadoes come in many shapes and sizes. They're often visible in the form of a condensation funnel originating from the base of a cumulonimbus cloud, with a cloud of rotating debris and dust beneath it. Usually, wind speeds are less than 110 miles per hour and are about 250 feet across and travel a few miles before dissipating. But they're still dangerous and unpredictable. Just imagine being in one of those trucks waiting on the highway or in one of the homes as the twister rolls by. It batters everything in its path. Throughout the video, the jet stream seems to be getting less dense, and by the end of the clip, it's been reduced to only a faint plume. The drone footage so close to a tornado was unforgettable, and fortunately, nobody was hurt.
And see, just the thought of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? The scary part about that for me is I always think about, what if I'm sleeping? What if we're asleep? You know, then we don't hear the warning signs, or, you know what I'm saying? We don't get the alerts or different things that we're under a watch warning or whatever. You know, that's the scariest thing for me.
Number 11, the Haunted Factory. This footage was
Goodness gracious. They sound like they're about to come through the ceiling.
captured by a drone from Poland. Allegedly, the factory in this video is notoriously haunted, and within seconds of watching, you won't at all be surprised by that. It's complete with sound effects like mice squeaking and children giggling. The drone even floats through the bushes overtaking the interior. As you watch, it feels like the start of an important scene in a horror movie. If this was the case, whoever did the set deck in faux finishing should win an award. It's also giving us gaming vibes as you move through the factory labyrinth. If it was created digitally, no doubt this would be a fun game to maneuver. It's very real. We also get to see some fantastic graffiti by some talented artists, which does bring the spooky factor down a notch. We can all agree that it might be a scary place to work, even if it's some beautiful art. And the captain of this drone is doing a really great job. The flying robot dips and dives, goes fast and slow, barely skimming the puddles on the factory floor. The drone soars hallways and upstairs. You really get a good idea about this huge space while simultaneously fueling the imagination. What's around this corner, we're asking ourselves, or more importantly, is there anybody here? Number 10, the Pripyat drone footage. This...
Y'all hear that? Hold on, y'all. Let me text them. Tell them to calm my boys down. He barking. Sound like somebody trying to come in our front door. Don't ever do that, by the way.
Is Pripyat. Although the peaceful, snowy footage looks great, just wait till you hear the history of this place. This was the site of a major nuclear incident, the biggest ever. On April 26, 1986, the worst accident in the history of the nuclear industry occurred in Chernobyl, Ukraine. And as the drone rises and lowers through the properties, you'll notice ain't nobody around. In Pripyat, the city was founded in 1970 to serve the Chernobyl power plant. The disaster was sparked by huge explosions that burned for 9 days and released more radiation than the atom bomb released in Hiroshima. It contained 150,000 square miles in Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus.
I never think about that, to send a drone out there. You know, it's forbidden. Well, it's supposed technically, but people still be going out there. You know what I mean? But to send a drone out there to capture what it looked like, the changes and everything, that's dope.
Since then, over 5 million people have been exposed to radiation. And this intense footage is a haunting and scary reminder. Everything you see in this footage is contaminated with toxic nuclear radiation. But on a positive note, while humans are strictly prohibited from living here nowadays, many other species have settled there. Brown bears, wolves, lynx, bison, deer, moose, beavers, fox, badgers, wild boar, raccoon dogs, and more than 200 species of birds. A variety of amphibians as well. Fish, worms, and bacteria makes the unpopulated environment their home since the explosion. The area is definitely coming back to life. Number 9, China's forgotten bike graveyards. Culturally, this mega power country has long embraced the affordable, non-polluting benefits of the almighty bicycle. With a country with over 1 billion people, there's not a lot of room for everyone to have cars. So bikes are an even better choice to get around. And now, bike sharing is the thing. Bike share companies quickly saturated the city streets with millions of rental bicycles. However, the rapid growth vastly outpaced demand. China's infrastructure and regulations just could not handle it. Where do these bicycles go to die? Apparently, right here, if you're in China, these piles of bikes were recalled by the thousands, and sites like these have become common in populated cities. Unfortunately, taxpayers would bear the brunt of the cost of the cleanup. Bike share companies folded when they launched too many bikes too soon, and the drone footage captures the huge surplus of bicycles, collecting dust, a labyrinth of...
That looks like just a waste, bro. You know how many kids, you know what I mean, be wanting bikes that their parents can't afford them, bro? Why we can't just figure out a...
Here we have this large pyramidal structure, and the witnesses, they can't believe their eyes. It's absolutely shocking.
We have 4 different videos recorded from 4 different angles. These people don't know each other.
We have preliminary results. It appears to have some anomalies.
They kind of refurbish this and give them out or something like that, man. Just to have them sitting somewhere and just deteriorating and all that type of stuff like that, man, that's a waste. That's as soon as I look at that, first thing I think of is like, yo, that's a waste. That's crazy.
Tangled metal and vast vacant lots. Bike sharing remains very popular in China, but as this drone footage indicates, too many bikes and not enough room. Surely there can be a solution to this mess. Maybe the bikes could be donated or the metal and plastic could be recycled. Number 8, incredible deep-sea turtle nesting. Green turtles are found mostly in tropical and subtropical waters and migrate long distances between feeding grounds and the beaches where they emerged as hatchlings. And now, researchers have captured beautiful aerial footage of thousands of green turtles congregating on the edge of Australia's Great Barrier Reef during the nesting season. Just look at these turtles. It's the world's largest green turtle rookery at Rain Island, a vegetated coral cay approximately 385 miles northwest of Cairns. But despite attracting a massive aggregation of the creatures, scientists noticed that they were not reproducing as expected. Due to nests flooding and inhospitable terrain, the creatures are under threat due to hunting, over-harvesting of their eggs, loss of beach nesting sites, and becoming trapped in fishing apparatus. After implementing a series of interventions to help the struggling turtles, scientists then sought to track the population. Let's use drones was their solution. The team revealed up to 64,000 turtles swimming around the island waiting to come ashore to lay their eggs. Researchers plan to automate the counts.
A lot of baby mamas. That's a lot of eggs, bro.
From video footage using artificial intelligence. Number 7, crazy museum sinkhole. A sinkhole opened up underneath this Kentucky museum, but just know this is not your typical museum. This structure houses the history of the classic car, the Corvette. Colloquially known as the Vette, the vehicle is a 2-door, 2-passenger sports car manufactured and marketed by Chevrolet across more than 60 years of production and 8 design generations. But as you can see, 8 Corvettes from the National Museum plummeted to the bottom of this sinkhole, believed to be 100 feet deep and 30 feet wide. Thankfully, nobody was hurt when the Corvettes sank into the hole. However, Vette lovers of the world wept. That's a lot of classic car excellence at the bottom of that money pit. It hurts our hearts to see such pristine specimens of automobile excellence just laying in that rubble. The cost of those classic cars was estimated to be in the millions, let alone the cost of repairing the sinkhole. However, Kentucky engineers turned these lemons into lemonade. They built an even better exhibit in the museum after repairs were finished, commemorating the disaster. They built a showcase of the vehicles that plummeted,
Lemons. And you make lemonade.
as well as an outline on the floor showing where the sinkhole was and where the outline to the cave is. The National Corvette Museum sits on what geologists call the karst region, above underground caves and springs. So a sinkhole in Kentucky isn't that out of the ordinary. Number 6, the Tianjin blast site. Back in August of 2015, 2 explosions occurred within 30 minutes of each other at this facility, which is located in the northern port city of Tianjin, China. The second explosion involved the detonation of about 800 tons of ammonium nitrate, the equivalent of over 250 tons of dynamite. Next, a chain reaction of uncontrollable fires, and 8 more explosions over the course of 3 days rocked the region. The warehouse building that exploded was a hazardous chemical storage facility for calcium carbide, sodium nitrate, and potassium nitrate. Safety regulations were not followed, and the people in the city were unaware of the danger. And this drone footage clearly demonstrates the epic size and power of this massive blast. It really is devastation on a whole other level. twisted metal, buildings destroyed, clouds of smoke still rising. We can all visualize what the blast looked like. The blast was so big it could be seen from space. Windows were blasted out a mile away. And with 15 million people in the port city, everybody was affected. The Tianjin blast must have been one heck of a fight for those rescue workers and first responders. It's an endless sea of burnt cars, empty shells of formerly thriving businesses, and it's surreal, to say the least. Number 5. Vanuatu volcanoes. The active volcano proved too much for these unmanned aerial vehicles. Drones are the best for this sort of challenge. Yet, no matter how advanced drone technology becomes, there's nothing like extreme elements to shut a drone down. And getting this valuable information meant that drones would die in the name of science as the hot lot.
I don't care how many times I see that, bro. That's the dopest thing ever. That's one of the dopest shots ever.
I've melted them. The purpose of this mansion was to study microbial colonization inside the volcano. On top of the incredible footage, the drone would help researchers with 3D reconstruction of it and help collect samples. Poison gas and incredible heat meant that nobody was getting near the lava. This is just another example of how drones can be used to navigate very difficult places, like volcanoes. However, they're not guaranteed they'll survive the flight. The heat from this volcano took any drones out easily. Thankfully, the filmmakers were able to get what they needed. These incredible drone videos and thousands of photographs only help take a deep dive into the makings of these volatile environments. And unless you have specialized suits to handle the heat, you're not getting near it. Drones, too, can only take so much heat, but this footage is very hot indeed. Number 4. Abandoned coal factory. You've got to see this exciting footage of drones flying at near super speeds through this old, decrepit factory. Not only the place where you can race another human, but drones, however, let the races begin.